I receive a phone call from a police officer, and he said, your daughter's been in an accident and she's unresponsive. She hit some bumps and she lost control of the vehicle and flipped the vehicle 2 to 4 times. And I'm yelling at my husband. I'm saying, Grace has been in an accident, call the hospital, I'll call your family. They brought her to the Moncton Hospital, the emergency center, right away. And they talked to my husband and they said that she had fractured her skull and she had brain trauma. And they said that she had broken her neck, but it was not displaced, so that was okay. And she cracked her ribs and she had bruised lungs. At that moment, I was like, I don't know if she'll make this. I don't know if she's gonna get through this, but the entire time I kept talking to her in my head. I kept saying, Grace, don't go, it's not your time.
Well, actually, my first few years here, I knew very little about the Friends, and I was surprised that I didn't know. And then once we were asked, we had put in a submission for a piece of equipment, and once we were part of a campaign, it opened my eyes to how much help this foundation provides to the Moncton Hospital. Friends at Work is a way that a staff member can contribute to the Friends, and what you contribute comes back to help you and your patients.
There's several ways that an employee can give. The easiest way is through payroll donations. So you contact the Friends, we have a form that you complete, you set the amount, and then it comes out in your pay. It's automatically recorded as a charitable contribution on your T4 slip, so you don't have to worry about receipts. You set it, and then basically you can forget it until you need to change it. You can increase it, decrease it, whatever you like, and that happens instantly.
Some of the neuro OR equipment that allows them to go in and actually work on spines. There was a young fellow in a bad car accident, and because of some of the equipment they bought, he's actually up walking, and they never thought he would walk again. I saw him the other day out in public walking, and I'd seen him at one of the giving campaigns in a wheelchair. I mean, how amazing is that? I don't notice it coming off my paycheck. My little contribution makes me feel good, and it might help my family, it might help me down the road.
I think it was the next day or the following day that they did another CT scan and they said they saw improvement. And we were like, oh, thank God. And it just seemed to improve. She improved over time. I was over top of Grace and I was texting on my phone because I was probably texting family, updating everybody on what was going on with her. And she looked at me and she said, are you using my data? And I'm like, no. She would never call me by name. She would never say mom. She would never say dad. But she would talk to us like she knew us. A couple days later, she started recognizing my husband and she would say, hi, Dad. As soon as he walked in, hi, Dad. And I'd think to myself, what about me? I would go home and sleep at night, and then I would come early in the morning, and I came into the room and she was like, are you my mom? And I said, yes, Grace, I'm your mom. And she goes, I'm so glad you're my mom. And I said, I'm really glad I'm your mom too, Grace. She moved out of the ICU and she moved into 4100, and from every place that she moved, the care has been amazing.
Another game changer in spine, and there's kind of in spine and neurosurgery in general, was the O-arm, which is basically an intraoperative CT scan for like neuronavigation. So instead of putting screws with kind of just regular X-ray where you don't see as much, you can navigate the screws or any kind of hardware going in the spine with this technology. The Friends helped us buy that to have the equipment basically to be able to come here and start doing minimally invasive spine surgeries. So it's better for patient post-operative pain, so much less pain post-op, much shorter hospital stay. You can get bigger surgeries done and they perk up much better from that.
Just making the experience that's already traumatic sometimes be a little bit more comfortable, be a little bit more helpful, be it financially, help with some meals, help with some more comfortable chairs in the rooms, some simple things sometimes will make a huge difference for families when they're going through a stressful period.
And they put us in the family room, which was an amazing family room to have. As much as no one likes to be in a hospital, and Grace will say herself, I want to go home, I want to go home, I want to sleep in my own bed. That room has been a saving grace for her because she can go there and sit and watch TV if she wants, or if she wants to surf on her phone or go into the kitchen and grab ice cream. I'm sure they're going to have to buy a new supply of chocolate ice cream because I'm sure she's going through it all. And I understand that the Friends of the Foundation put that in place?
We think that the system takes care of stuff, right? But we are the system in the end. So yes, I mean, the system and government, if you want, would take care of a lot of it, but there's a portion where there are gaps where we need an institution like the Friends, we need foundations of a hospital.
We thank our staff donors, or we try to thank them in several ways. One is that we try to have some draws through the year just to encourage people to, be thankful that we have individuals that give. So we have some fun draws. There's a program called Employee Lottery, which is essentially you put your name in for a draw for a year. $5 a pay. There is a draw for $1,000, a $200 gas card, and a $50 grocery card. The second thing is that we have a donor recognition program through the Friends Foundation. It starts with a plaque that goes down Horizon Boulevard, and it can be in your name or your family's name, whatever name you choose, but it recognizes that you've contributed starting at $1,000 cumulative level. Well, if you're a staff donor, you can share the news that you give and why you give simply by wearing this pin, which says I donate. An important question to answer is, how much should I give? It's what you're comfortable with. It's about contributing. It's just about giving to your workplace in a way that at the end of the day helps a patient receive better health care. It contributes to your equipment that you use, even the physical space in some areas, because that's how we use the funds that are raised.
One very near and dear to my heart is our outside play space, which is right off our playroom. So when children are convalescing and they need to recover, and they're recovered enough that they can continue on with normal activities, what better way to do that than out in the fresh air and digging in the sand and playing in the water. And that was one initiative several years ago that, I've really tried and eventually, went to the Friends, and that was a reality realized.
So this bacterial identification unit comes at a cost of about $250,000. The Friends donated the money, allowed us to be on the leading edge of this technology and stay current. For example, just a few weeks ago, there was a patient who had a terrible brain abscess due to something that ordinarily would have taken us maybe up to a week to identify conclusively. And this technology really allowed us to put a name on it in minutes. This is my city, this is my hospital. I'm proud to be here.
It says something about our integrity. If we as staff don't feel willing or able to give, how can we then go to our community and say, would you please give?
Dr. Pike came in and said, you're going to move to rehab. When I first went over to see the Rehab Centre, Jolene brought me through to show me the gym that they have. And I'm assuming that the Friends also set that up too. The room is huge with so much equipment for all the patients, not just Grace, but all the patients to use. We both hope that she was a university student and she wants to be a teacher someday, that she ends up going back to university. She talks about it all the time. I want to be a teacher, I want to go back. But in the end, we both say, it doesn't matter what you do, as long as you're happy at what you're doing. So I wanted to say about the staff that they have been amazing, from the people that take the tickets at the booths where you park your vehicle, people that clean the rooms, you get to talk to them, and the nurses, the doctors, the physiotherapists, the occupational therapist, the social workers have been awesome. Everybody that we have come encounter with have been so caring and loving. I love that they have their name tags on them so that you can call them by name, because they become a human to you, right?
I think the fact that our staff and physicians are giving to their own hospital sends a very, very powerful message to the community, because they're the people who know the needs. And if they recognize them and they give, then why shouldn't I, as an individual in the community, follow their example?
You're making a difference in the people's lives that come into this hospital. Maybe they don't recognize it at the time, but I'm hoping that later on that they do recognize that it is awesome what you're doing. We're very thankful for the Moncton Hospital and the foundation for the equipment that they buy. It's been awesome.